Good afternoon and welcome to the 2022 Roma Conference, and thank you for joining us. My name is Al Spacek and I'm the board chair for MPAC. For this presentation, I'm pleased to be joined by our president and CEO, Nicole McNeill, and our vice president and COO, Carmelo Lipsi. The ongoing pandemic continues to test our resolve, both personally and professionally. For MPAC, the pandemic has required us to be more flexible and collaborative than ever before to support our employees, our municipal partners, and the Ontario government. We've held the safety and well-being of our employees as a top priority since March 2020, while continuing to find ways to work differently to deliver the services Ontario relies on from us. As you know, as part of its 2021 Fall Economic Statement, the Ontario government announced a postponement of the assessment update. This means property assessments for this year and next will continue to be based on our last valuation date, January 1st, 2016. So what does that mean for us? COVID-19 has driven us to be more efficient, innovative, and forward-thinking than ever. For the second year in a row, MPAC's board of directors have approved a 0% increase to the total municipal levy because we recognize the ongoing challenges municipalities are facing. Our 2021 to 2025 strategic plan puts a clear focus on modernizing our operations and unlocking new revenue streams to offset the levy impact. And through our constant monitoring of the market and maintenance of our property database, we will support you, our municipal partners, with market analytics and insights to share what we see happening in your communities. We will stay ready to deliver the assessment update when called upon and work every day to maintain Ontario's property database, which includes the timely assessment of new construction, additions, and renovations. We will keep working hard to help all Ontarians better understand who we are, what we do, and the ways we do it to support property owners to understand their assessment. And most importantly, we'll do our part to support communities on the path to better days ahead. We know these are challenging times, and we remain here to support you. Thank you for supporting our communities across Ontario, and please stay safe. It's now my pleasure to introduce MPAC's president and CAO, Nicole McNeill. Thank you. Nicole?
Thank you, Al. I want to start by talking about something that Al just said. Ontario property assessments this year and in 2023 will continue to be based on the January 2016 values. And as we know, property values all over Ontario are increasing at rates we've never seen before. Overall, residential prices have nearly doubled across the province since 2016, but vary geographically and by housing type. The median sale of a residential property in 2016 was $380,000, and now it's over $700,000. We all know that even during the pandemic, the real estate market in Ontario has been extremely active. We've observed residential sales prices increasing by 50% just since January 2020. And we're seeing prices increase outside the GTA as buyers move outward towards lack of inventory and affordability. Naturally, property values have people quite worried about a larger than normal spike in their property taxes at a time when inflation and general affordability issues are top of mind for all Ontarians. Together, we can help address this concern for property owners by helping them understand that an increase in assessment does not necessarily mean an increase in taxes. Assessments distribute taxes. They do not determine taxes paid. This year, we're going to be very focused on raising awareness about MPAC's role and supporting property owners in understanding how we assess their property and what their assessment is used for. When it comes to housing affordability and availability, we're also closely monitoring the multi-residential property sector. Provincially, there continues to be a chronic shortage of rental housing, so it's a very competitive market. Larger rental units are in demand as people embrace hybrid work, and increased immigration targets are expected to fuel demand for rental housing, especially in the downtown cores. MPAC is here and ready to help, wherever and however we can to tackle the housing affordability crisis. Our property database and valuation expertise can provide important information about the assessment and classification of proposed affordable housing developments. We recently provided this type of support to a housing supply challenge project in Windsor, where a group is exploring the feasibility of additional dwelling units. Our assessment data was combined with open data, including zoning details, setbacks, and road allowances. It was analyzed with a GIS mapping tool to incorporate neighborhood demographics, socioeconomic data, and specific requirements. We recently found out at the end of last year that this project's team proof of concept was one of 14 selected for additional funding and will share a pool of $22.5 million to implement this data-driven solution. So please talk to us about any projects you're considering within your communities that you think that we may be able to support you with. We also know that data security is a pressing issue for municipalities, not just in Ontario, but across the country. It's something we're very focused on too. Every organization is unique, but as threats continue to become more sophisticated and challenging, we can learn from each other by sharing advice and best practices. MPAC maintains a database of information for more than 5 million properties in Ontario. This amounts to over 125 terabytes of data across 27 field office locations and over 5,000 physical and virtual devices. In 2019, we received ISO 27001 certification, one of the most popular information security standards in the world that's recognized globally as a benchmark for good data security practices. We've maintained our certification for 3 years now, and it demonstrates that we have put in place the systems, policies, and procedures that help us protect property assessment data and increases our resilience against cyber attacks. It will also help reduce costs associated with information security and reinforces a security-first company culture. Together with municipalities, we safeguard Ontario's property owner data, and we are always willing to share our learnings and best practices with our municipal partners and work in collaboration to address the issues of cybersecurity in the municipal sector. The last thing I want to talk about affects all of us, and it's how this pandemic has fundamentally changed the ways we live and work. The way we think about our workplaces has also changed. As a result of long periods of working from home during the pandemic, we anticipate that more employers will offer hybrid work environments, and more flexibility to be able to work from home will be a requirement for any employer who's looking to stay competitive in terms of recruitment. This has two potential consequences. First, what will a change in office occupancy mean for the use of office space and its value? And second, we know workspaces may look different in the future, and we're planning this for ourselves. The way we live and work has changed too. Many people no longer need to live in close proximity to where they work, and we've seen this reflected in the data as more and more people have moved further away from urban and suburban centers. Homeowners are investing in their homes to accommodate their desire to continue to work at home too. We saw this in 2020 and in 2021 with an increase in residential building permits. And these building permits for things we would all be familiar with: general home improvements, adding a pool, adding a garage, and finishing basements. While we never stop working to maintain our property database and deliver value to our municipal partners, we're also looking at ways we can add more value with data and insights on these major societal issues. I'm now going to turn it over to Carm to share some of our latest insights with you and growth trends in 2021. Over to you, Carm.
Thanks, Nicole. What we achieved last year couldn't have been possible without our municipal partners, and I would like to provide some context to those efforts. In November, we mailed nearly 877,000 property assessment notices to property owners across Ontario, reflecting changes in their assessment. In mid-December, we delivered 2022 assessment rolls to every municipality in Ontario. Looking back at 2021, we captured over $38 billion in new assessment, resulting in new tax dollars for municipalities at a time when we know it's needed most. The assessed value of Ontario's 5.5 million properties is now estimated to be more than $3.04 trillion. Not surprising, the largest number of properties are residential, totaling 5 million properties with a total assessed value of $2.2 trillion. And as Al mentioned, That's based on a January 1st, 2016 valuation date. When we look at other properties, we see a significant number of properties within the farm portfolio and commercial property types as well. New assessment is added as a result of new construction and/or additions to existing properties that were completed during the year and that we added to the assessment roll for 2022. For 2021, $18.6 billion of new assessment was related to residential properties. An additional $10.7 billion for residential condominiums. Following that, we added an additional $5.7 billion in new assessment to commercial and industrial properties and almost $1 billion to farm properties. In 2021, Ontario saw more than 48,000 new residential homes constructed, with 48% of those being single-family detached homes, followed by condominiums, townhouses, and semi-detached homes. With more than 46% of the new residential units built in 2021, they're found in the 10 residential growth municipalities. These include many municipalities in the Greater Golden Horseshoe, plus Ottawa, London, and the Kitchener area. The top 10 municipalities with the highest amount of new assessment in 2021 include Toronto, driven by the strong residential condominium development effort, Ottawa, and several other municipalities in the Greater Golden Horseshoe. Along with the new assessment captured in these large municipalities, we also assess permit-related activity in smaller towns. With continuing limitations on international travel for part of 2021, waterfront and seasonal properties continue to attract a lot of interest, not only as it related to the increase in sale price of these properties in the real estate market, but also with respect to construction activity. Here are the top 10 municipalities for new assessment related to seasonal properties in 2021, with the highest activity in the townships of Muskoka Lakes, followed by the Blue Mountains and Seguin. Again, with a small town rural lens, here are the top 10 municipalities for total new assessment in 2021. With representation from across southern, central, and eastern Ontario, the township of Muskoka Lakes leads this group with over $185 million in new assessment. As Al referenced earlier, we're committed to partnering with the municipal sector on modernization and technologically innovative initiatives. E-permitting will transform the way construction permits are submitted, tracked, and shared. This year, we'll continue to support the sector's work to bring digital permitting to all of Ontario. We are pleased to be working with AMO's business services arm, LAS, who have awarded the e-permitting RFP to Cloud Permit. This selection will lead to an electronic permitting pilot in the coming months. We are looking to potential new ways to deliver property assessment roll to municipalities each year. Municipalities make it available to the public, which has been a problem during COVID-19 when municipal offices have had to close. MPAC has now proposed a development of an electronic public assessment roll to the Minister of Digital Government. This solution will enhance the control, access, and use of the data that would provide greater protection of personal information. Another project started in 2021 and carrying forward to the new year is our Master Municipal Services Agreement. The MPAC municipal relationship continues to evolve and will support MPAC sharing more data with municipalities than ever before. To support this, we have leveraged a municipal working group to help us develop a new master services agreement for all municipalities. We hope to share this new agreement with municipalities in the spring of 2022 with an introductory webinar to explain it further. I will also mention our work to create the preliminary list of electors for this October's municipal and school board elections. While we are working to implement legislative changes that will transfer responsibility for the municipal list of electors to Elections Ontario in 2024, we are responsible for both the 2022 municipal elections and all by-elections through the end of 2023. Leading up to the transfer responsibility to Elections Ontario, we are committed to improving the accuracy of the preliminary list of electors, Our strategies include technology by leveraging voterlookup.ca, MPAC's online web service that allows electors to confirm and update their information for municipal elections, partnerships by working with Elections Canada and Elections Ontario to ensure currency of our data, and an elections working group to ensure our strategies reflect the municipal needs, and education to help property owners, the media, and our partners understand MPAC's role in the election process. We recently shared a toolkit with municipalities with pre-written digital content you can use to help encourage your constituents to verify their information on voterlookup.ca. Please consider sharing this information. In 2021, we launched our new strategic plan with a continued focus on municipalities and property taxpayers through modernization and innovation. To learn more about it, you can watch a recording of our most recent municipal webinar that was held on January 13th. Go to mpac.ca/municipalities to access the recording. Last month, we published our 2021 Municipal Partnerships Report. I encourage you to visit our virtual booth where we have a link to the report and our staff are available to meet with you. Please keep reading our In Touch newsletter as we revamp our communication strategy with more materials being made available on mpac.ca. On behalf of Al Spacek and Nicole McNeill, thank you for viewing our session and please continue to stay safe.